Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of power sports on YouTube. Merry Christmas, everybody. I am actually recording this on December 25th, 2019, because we had our family Christmas last night. But anyway, this is my new attempt at an oil change guide. If you watched the last oil change guide, it was a total failure. Spewed oil everywhere, not good. So we're going to try again. We're going to try to do it quickly and in a timely manner, but correctly. So first I'm going to go over the tools and items you need, and then I'm going to run through the steps real quick, and then we're going to start the timer and see how fast I can get it done without screwing up. So what you're going to need 6 quarts of 5W30 oil. You're going to need an oil filter cartridge. In this case, I am using a Bosch 3983. Okay, tools: 3/8 ratchet, short extension, long extension, a second long extension. You will need an O-ring pick. You will need a new crush washer for your drain plug. So I have a magnetic drain plug. I will put a link in the description below, so check out that link. And so each time you change that specific plug, it needs a new crush washer. So I have some copper washers that'll work great. You need a 15 millimeter socket, a 24 millimeter socket. It's technically supposed to be a 15/16, but I don't have one, so 24 works in a pinch. Again, 5 quarts of oil. In this case, I'm using Redline Full Synthetic. This is a racing oil, so it is 10 times better than the shit you can buy at AutoZone. You'll need some random blue towels for cleaning up your messes, an oil funnel for dumping the oil in the truck, and then you need a torque wrench. So take me seriously on this. 18 foot-pounds for the oil filter cap and for the drain bolt. Not using a torque wrench is basically like taking $40,000 and throwing it in the trash, right? So get a torque wrench. Oil drain pan, I recommend the biggest, nastiest, fattest one you can find, because this thing is going to spew oil out. The engine is hot. I went on a 10-15 minute drive and got the engine and oil hot. You'll need a step stool, because unless you're 7 feet tall, you need to be able to get up above the engine bay and not scratch up your fender. And make sure you take everything out of your pockets. Then trash can. I think we're ready to get started. Right, so the steps. So the very first thing to do is pull the drain plug and let the oil drain. Otherwise, if you try and unscrew the cap first, like on a car, it'll just spew the oil onto the tire. So drain plug first, remove cap, remove oil filter after everything's drained out, because otherwise it'll be a big nasty mess. And then obviously you want to replace the oil filter, replace the drain bolt, and then start dumping oil in. So, all right, so 3, 2, 1, let's go. So I'm gonna put this pan way out here, and you'll see why in a second. It is going to make a big, nasty mess. Yep. So as you can see, it just, even with the cap on up top, it shoots out. So if you don't have the cap on, it'll actually shoot out onto the tire. It's a god-awful design. I don't know who screwed up the engineering on this truck, but they did a really bad job. So anyway, make sure the pan isn't gonna splash. Okay, so now you can see why I have tons of towels. The oil is black for only having 3,000 miles on it. Granted, I drive like a nut job. So now you want to pop this cap and put it somewhere safe. That's not safe. Somewhere safe. Okay, and then, oh boy, very carefully get any dirt off of there, and then just like put a little cover over it so you don't get anything in it. And we need to rescue our socket. And so the magnetic drain plug, if you have one, check and make sure it's okay if there's little stuff on there. That's its job. You know, little tiny shavings, it's not an issue. Now, if you find a big chunk or like a piece of a gear or something, then obviously I would save that little chunk, and then since the truck should be under warranty, I mean, all the ZR2s are still under warranty, 2017 up. So go to the dealer and be like, hey, what the fuck kind of shit you selling me? You know, like, this is bullshit. Because these trucks, it seems like every year there's a new problem with these trucks. I did not have enough towel. Oh, I did have extra towel. Okay. And I'm really not wasting any time right now because we're letting the oil drain out before we can remove the filter, because again, if all the oil's not out, it's going to be a mess when you pull that filter. So clean off your drain plug, make sure it's clean, okay, and then you will see this crush washer here is needs to be replaced. So we will clean this off, and then we will grab the proper size copper replacement. Wow, that's actually way too small. Shit. That doesn't look like it would seal. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So the getaway is to flip it over. So this side was up, now we're gonna flip it. And I'm gonna have to order, you can order these from Gold Plug, so I'm gonna have to do that because apparently it's different than a standard crush washer. So flip it over. Again, that's a ghetto ass way to do it. You'll have to double check it's not leaking all over your truck, but all right. So that's pretty much good. So now we can pull the filter, and the filter is god awful nightmare. So you will need 2 extensions because the engineer who put this all together is a complete douchebag. And then you'll need your step stool for sure. And then you'll see here there's actually a little plastic piece to protect the AC line from the wrench. So the filter is right there. Okay. Man, that one's kind of, there it goes. Okay. Okay, so it's ready to come off. And if your engine's hot, which it should be to do a correct oil change, then you're gonna have to watch and make sure you don't burn your hand down here. But you just want to bring this, you want to try to bring it straight up. It's total retarded. Wow. Okay, and so here's why you need to change it every time. I mean, it's completely caked in shit. So what you do is, it should just pop out. What the hell? Okay, it just pops out, and then get our new one. Now it should come, ooh, got a little bit of shit there. Should come with a new O-ring, okay? So the first thing you want to do is get the old O-ring off. Now, make sure you have a new O-ring before you mess with the old one, because taking the old one off generally damages it beyond repair. So, old O-ring, oh fuck, old filter. Okay, make sure it's nice and clean. Then you can get your new O-ring, and you want to actually get some oil on it before you try and install it. So make sure it's lubed up so it doesn't get stuck on anything and get ripped. So then you just kind of work it down over the threads. Okay, make sure it's seated in its groove, because if not, you could pinch it with the threads, and then get as much oil on it as you can. So get it nice and covered in oil. Okay, and then you can take the new filter, make sure it's in good condition. This little piece of dirt here is kind of bothering me, but not there. I'm getting it. I gotta get that piece of dirt out. Okay, so then you just clip this in. All right, so make sure it's in. Okay, then you gotta fish it back the frick down in here, and of course there's all kinds of shit in the way. It's just such a bad, stupid design. It's unbelievable. What am I stuck on? Ah, great. Stuck on a wire. What the who designed this? Okay. Oh, no, 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 don't do that. Okay. Come on. Oh, fuck. Okay. Jeez, what a... I don't remember having this much trouble last time. What the fuck? Whoa, my stool just slipped. Okay, now you want to hand thread the filter in. Under no circumstance should you use the ratchet to get the threads started on the filter. Okay, so fuck it. All right. Now we can set our torque wrench to 18 foot-pounds. So 15, 16, 17, 18. And since this cap's plastic, you don't want to overdo it. Now, because we're using an extension, it's actually going to mess with the torque value a little bit. Not enough to really matter for only 18 foot-pounds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get away with just using one extension to minimize the torque loss. So I probably could have been putting oil in this thing while I'm doing this, but just want to very carefully get that okay. 18 foot-pounds, no more. God, I can't stress that enough. If you crack that cap, it will be a nightmare. So then the same thing. Get your nice clean drain plug. You should have a fresh crush washer. I screwed up. I'll have a link to how you can order both of these. So again, you want to hand start it. That's very, very important. Okay, now before you go any further, it's generally a good idea to wipe all the oil off so that you can tell after you start the truck that you're not leaking any oil. Okay. So again, 18 foot-pounds, no more. Okay, that's it. Doesn't feel like much, but it's an aluminum oil pan, and it's also very vulnerable to being impacted. So I know a lot of people that go like hardcore off-roading get a whole new lower skid plate because this oil pan's pretty freaking vulnerable. All right, so we're not done just yet. Get this out of the way so I don't accidentally run it over. That's some black oil for, I swear I only drove 3,000 miles on it. Okay, so we'll get some more light, and then gotta get oil in it, of course. So get your funnel, stick her in there, and then get your oil. And in my case, this oil can be kind of a pain in the ass to open sometimes. And then the fast way is to just let it chug. Okay, so drain plugs, 18 foot-pounds. Oil filter caps, 18 foot-pounds. So we can get rid of all this extra shit now. So while that's draining, so the longest, I would argue the longest part of the oil change is generally waiting for this oil. So I'll probably just do a little time lapse so we don't lose count of how long this oil change actually takes in the real world. Okay, so done. Next. Okay, so don't be fooled. Oil change is not done yet. You still have to do a pressure check. Make sure you're not spewing oil everywhere. And you can check the oil pressure in this specific vehicle. Okay, so what actually we need to do, oil life, reset, yes. Okay, and then oil pressure, 46 psi at idle, that is correct. And then also one thing, my fuel economy average, hopefully you can see, is 15 after driving on the highway for 100 miles. So no, it does not get good fuel mileage. I don't know where the hell you guys are getting those numbers from. But anyway, so we check under here, make sure there is no leaks at all. Okay, that's very important. No leaks. Okay, now we can also need to check the oil filter cap and make sure that we did it right. So get back up on your stool, check your oil filter cap. Make sure you don't see any oil spewing out because it's at 40 psi, so it will be flying out if it's wrong. So our oil filter cap is correct, okay? So, cap on, everything's good. So, our oil change is now complete. Stop the timer. Okay, so oil change is done. So this was a successful oil change guide. So the first time you got to make fun of me. The second time, I feel like I did a pretty damn good job. I mean, this thing's on its 4th year now, so I'm not a good mechanic. I mean, this should have took maybe 6 months, and I'm on my 4th year. But anyway, the next video I upload will be more on the 944. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.